Hello and welcome to another edition of Book Time with Elvis with me, Mark, and of course Elvis as well, though he's not looking too interested in being part of it. How are you? So yeah, this is a weekly roundup, and as you can see, the week's ended rather with snowfall. So thankfully we're both back in the warmth now, back inside. It's actually snowing quite heavily now. When I look out the window, I just see white, white everywhere. Anyway, so welcome to this weekly roundup. I'm just going to hopefully make this a new thing where I'm just going to talk about some of the things that's gone on this week, both bookish things and non-bookish things that may be of interest to you. So I guess we'll start out just by saying a little bit about the current epidemiological situation. I can't say that regarding COVID here. It's been a bit complicated actually because we've been on the cusp of two governments, an outgoing government and an incoming government, and there was some confusion earlier this week because the president was supposed to. He's currently been in hospital for a while, pretty much since the election results were announced back in early October. And he was due to be released. I think he was released to come out and sign some papers, and then he was found to be COVID positive or something, and then he had to go back into hospital without signing them. But anyway, today, finally, within the last few minutes or so, we're having a new government, a new prime minister, and it's a five-party coalition. So it'll be interesting to see how long that lasts. Hopefully, it lasts. Hopefully, it lasts long enough to get things back on track here. So we'll see. But yeah, the situation seems to be worsening, like it is in much of Europe. We've had new cases over the 20,000 mark for the last few days. And we're only a small country of 10 million or so, and I think we have around 68%, 69% vaccinated. The new government has ruled out a further lockdown, but in terms of government, what does that really mean? We'll see. Though they will probably extend the school Christmas holidays. So we were due to break up for Christmas on the 23rd of December, which is very close to, of course, Christmas. And now it looks like we may break up on the 18th. I think Friday the 18th. Is it Friday the 18th or Friday the 17th? I'm not sure. Of December. So, I'm not going to complain having an extra week's holiday, that's for sure. Otherwise, school's pretty good. I mean, we have quite a few students off. This is the difficulty at the moment. Are they off with potential, infections from COVID, or have they just simply got colds and flu and that kind of stuff? Yeah, so we do have, a few classes missing quite substantial numbers of students. I mean, in one class I was in earlier this week, normally it's like 23 students there, and there were only 10. So, yeah, it's definitely a strange time. But one highlight of the school week I mentioned in a previous video is we had a visit from Rex. Rex, of course, is a hedgehog, an orphaned hedgehog, which our deputy headmaster found in his boiler room in his house when he was a baby. So he was probably orphaned, and he couldn't necessarily look after himself properly, and so they've taken him in. He's not heavy enough to be released in the wild because he would pretty much die. Wouldn't have enough fat on him or her. I have to say we don't know whether Rex is a he or a she, but wouldn't have enough insulation on them to be released into the wild and survive the hibernation process. I did show a video of Rex in my previous video, but you can never have enough hedgehog footage or Rex footage. So here's another one. Yeah, I mean, he or she, they are very cute, for sure, and it was a joy to meet them, and the kids certainly very much enjoyed um, seeing Rex in the lower classes. Though I understand Rex did need a bit of time to recover after his his ordeal of being in school, as it kind of messed a little bit with their body clock, in terms of, them being nocturnal animals and stuff. But that was really good. Um, yeah, as I've mentioned, it's snowing, and it does look very beautiful here when it snows. Elvis really enjoys it. I think he much prefers this weather to the summer, because he does have a lovely thick coat on. And it's funny, in the rest of the year he loves eating grass, and then when the snow comes, he changes to eating snow, and he really likes to munch down on it, which is nice. In terms of books, I did get a couple of new books this week. Both books are to be read with Vin at Revenant Reads. One as part of Gothic series that we're doing, and we're going to read this one next month in December, and it's Anne Radcliffe's The Mysteries of Udolpho. And I don't know anything really about it, other than I came across it in Jane Austen's Northanger Abbey. I think it will be interesting, having read the back. If you've read it, let me know. Let me know what you thought of it. Certainly, I'm intrigued to do that. And I'm sure if anyone else would like to join us, just comment below, or go over to Revenant Reads' channel and give him a comment or a message, and he I'm sure will add you to the Voxer group. I believe there's 3 of us at the moment reading it. Myself, Vin, and Sonia Deveni, who has joined us on a few occasions for some of these buddy reads. And the other book I plan to read with Vin some point next year, as part of a history thing that we're running together, is Neil Price's The Children of Ash and Elm, A History of the Vikings. And I think this will be very interesting. Vin is extremely fond of and interested in Viking history and culture, and so I think it would be a real thrill to read something like that with somebody so so enamored with that period and that culture. So that would be good. In terms of things I've been reading, I finished Travels with George by Nathaniel Pilbrick. It was a kind of it was an audiobook about a road journey he took with his wife and his dog Dora, to kind of retrace the steps of George Washington's progress throughout the 13 colonies of the United States, during the early months of his presidency. And that was really interesting and very enjoyable, full of lots of factoids, both about Washington and even parts of Nathaniel Philbrick's life as well, which I really enjoyed. So if you want something nice to listen to, then yeah, either listen to it as an audiobook, or I'm sure it's a good read as well. The author reads it himself, and he's got quite a nice voice, a nice way of reading. So yeah, check it out. I'm also reading a group read book of Jack Kennedy, Elusive Hero by Chris Matthews, with Very Literary Carrie. She's organised that. Pavio from Attention is also in it, as well as Summer from Cozy Reading with Quaker Cats. Now Carrie is finished the book, and I know at least Summer and I are a little bit behind. I'm not quite sure about Pay's progress. I'm probably 2/3 of the way through now, and hope to get it done by the end of the month. There's not much time left, but it is a very interesting book and very well written, and I think a good book for people who perhaps are, relative novices on the whole Kennedy, JFK, genre, perhaps. So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting it finished, because, as I say, it's been an enjoyable read. The other group read that I'm reading or taking part in this month and into next month as well is The Amazing Adventures of Cavalier and Clay by Michael Chabon, and I'm really, really enjoying this. I'm around 200 pages in. It's a fantastic story. I enjoyed very much the first part of the book, set in Prague, detailing Josef Cavalier's escape from Prague during the Nazi occupation. It was very powerful and interesting because, these are places that I've been to and I can picture well in my mind's eye. So that's good. And he's an excellent writer, really, I have to say. Thoroughly enjoying it. And he makes his way to Lithuania, where he meets this Dutch consular official who helps him with an escape visa. But they also mention Japanese consular official who actually I have some information about, which is Sugihara Chune, who is known rather as like the Japanese Schindler. And I came across him maybe a few years ago. It must be about 5 years ago. I'd read some article where they mentioned Sugihara's work with helping the Jews of Poland and Lithuania escape by issuing them with exit visas so they could travel across the Soviet Union all the way to Japan, and then from Japan they could make their way to the United States or wherever else they needed to go. Maybe it's 5 years ago as well. So it seemed to come at the same time. I'd read this article, and then a friend of mine from Japan came here to the Czech Republic with his wife, and his brother was living in Estonia, working in the American embassy there, and he wanted to travel up from the Czech Republic through Poland, through Lithuania, all the way Latvia to Estonia to meet him, and he invited me to come along. So I did, and when we got to Lithuania, we actually split up for a little bit because he and his wife wanted to visit some part of the beach, and I wanted to go to the old capital called Kaunas. And while I was there, I visited Sugihara's house and office, which is all together there, and the museum there, and it was really interesting about what he did for the for quite a large number. I can't remember it all now, but quite a large number of Jewish people. And of course, when you add in and factor in, their descendants, it does work out as tens of thousands of people that he basically saved. So Chabon doesn't really mention him by name or anything like that, but it was nice to have a kind of passing reference to him, and that I knew what he was talking about, who he was talking about. So there we go. So that's pretty much it for this weekly wrap up. Not much else has happened. We will wait, of course, to see what's going to happen on the COVID front, whether or not the government is true to their word and schools will remain open and there won't be a full lockdown, or whether, of course, it's one of those things where, one day the government says this and the next day the opposite happens. But, all we can do is kind of just stay, follow the rules and try to stay healthy. So that's what I hope you all do. Stay healthy and safe, and look forward very much to seeing you all next time. Take care, everybody. Bye for now.